Hey, what's up, guys? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about what to expect in terms of living in Surrey. Uh, but keep in mind that I'm going to be talking about the Whalley district of Surrey, which is like in the northwestern region. Um, I haven't really explored or know too much about the other areas of Surrey. Um, Areas like, sorry, you're gonna notice me looking over to my left. Um, it's just I have things written down and on my monitor just to remind me of what to talk about, like this. uh, but yeah, in terms of like other places in Surrey, like Guildford, Fleetwood, Newton, Cloverdale, and South Surrey, I can't speak too much about those places. I mean, I've been there a few times, but I still don't know it too much, or and I still don't know Surrey all that well either because I only lived in Surrey for like basically 2 years or 2.5 years. Um, but yeah, this video is primarily going to be focusing on the Whalley district. Okay, uh, I'll be sure to put some photos up in this video just to let you guys see what I'm talking about. But yeah, there's four main things that I want to talk about. Um, and then there are four other things that it's just little things that I notice. Okay, so the first one that I notice about Surrey is that it's very. I'm sorry, I keep looking over here, but the camera's right here. Uh, yeah, my setup is a little weird. I have my camera phones right here, and then there's a mirror so that I can watch myself. So, so I'll try to look into the camera. All right. Uh, yeah. The first thing that I noticed about Surrey, and I'm pretty sure you guys will as well, is that Surrey is very car dependent. It's very car dependent. You're not gonna see a lot of people cycling through the neighborhoods in Surrey. It's very little. They might do it recreationally, maybe a lot during the weekends, but uh, compared to my hometown in Vancouver, BC, Canada, and which is not too far away uh, from Surrey. It's the contrast is very different. In Vancouver, you'd have a lot of bicycle lanes and a lot of people who use the bicycle lanes to go to work, go to school, and use it recreationally a lot. Um, yeah, and just to prove to you guys, I'm gonna throw some stats at you. Okay. Um, and this stat is based in 2016, which is like 4 years ago. But please don't mind it. It's more or less maybe you can add 5% or decrease 5% or something like that. Uh, my math is not the best, but you guys know what I mean. Uh, so only 3%, 3% of people walk or cycle to work. Okay, so that tells you a lot. But yeah, let's move on to the number two. Yeah, and this next one, it shouldn't be a surprise, but there's a lot of immigrants in Surrey. I'm sure you guys know, um, or if you don't, there's a huge South Asian population here in Surrey. Um, it's something like, well, it's basically 50% South Asians. It's a lot. Uh, it's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that, and I don't want to seem like I'm racist here, but uh, from from the South Asians that were born here that I've spoken to, um, they pretty much tell me that a lot of the immigrants that come here from South Asia, they bring their third world habits here, and that could be a problem depending on who you are. And I've experienced a lot of those things. Um, but yeah, I don't want to get too much into that. That seems a little negative. You know what I mean? So, yeah, actually, let's bring up the stats again, just to show you guys. Okay, so again, I'm going to talk about the Whalley district, or yeah, the Whalley district. Okay, 51% of the population in Whalley are South Asians, and that seems pretty accurate, despite it being in 2016. Uh, you're gonna notice a lot of Africans here as well, so I think that would be probably the biggest change if I had the stats for 2023. Yeah, but yeah, let's move on. Okay, number three, the third one, uh, is sort of connected to the last one with immigration. Uh, but I've noticed when I moved here from Vancouver that there's a lot more mental health issues with the people living in Surrey. It's a lot more serious, in my opinion. Just to give you guys an example, I was just waiting at the SkyTrain station, or for those of you who aren't familiar with SkyTrains, it's like a subway system. I was waiting at the subway station, uh, and there was this guy. Like, I stared at him for a bit, and I know I shouldn't have, but I felt like he was gonna stab me. Like that was how serious it was. Yeah, just be aware of that, guys. If you move to Surrey, um, just do not provoke people. That's what I've learned, is not to stare at people, because mental health issue is a big problem here. So just be careful. Okay, you've been warned. Okay, and the fourth thing and the final thing out of the big things that I've noticed in Surrey, I'm gonna get into the little things. It's definitely growing in terms of population. Um, I'm not sure if it's gonna surpass Vancouver, but it feels like it is, because um, I feel like Surrey is making a lot more progress in terms of housing compared to Vancouver. Um, I say this because I think Surrey is more willing to uh, build high rises more than Vancouver is, because Vancouver, um, I feel like there's a lot more NIMBYs type of people who live in Vancouver. What else? What else? Yeah, especially in the Whalley district. I feel like it's just getting started in terms of housing being built. Not only houses, but apartment buildings, condos, things like that. Okay, now let's move on to the little things that I've noticed. Okay, in Surrey, there's four of them. Um, the first one is, I feel like the people in Surrey, uh, they value name brand items more compared to people in Vancouver. Uh, I'm sorry, I keep referencing to Vancouver because I've only lived in Vancouver or here in BC my whole life. I've never really lived abroad, so I can only compare two of these metro Vancouver cities. So if you're from other countries, Sorry, uh, I apologize. um, yeah, it seems like the people in Surrey they value name brand items more than the people in Vancouver because uh, if you go to a clothing store, right? Let's just say, for example, Winners, you're gonna notice that a lot of name brand items are basically taken. If they're a name brand item and they're of quality, comfortable, right type of clothing like shoes, sweaters, whatnot. People love wearing Nike, Adidas, Jordans, those type of name brand clothing. You know, uh, Versace. Okay, the next thing is in terms of businesses, you're gonna notice a lot of businesses, especially small businesses, family-owned businesses. I'm not even sure if medium-sized business is a thing, but yeah, you're gonna notice a lot of businesses having the LTD or INC, like incorporated on their business title. So you might see something like uh, Best Pros Cleaner LTD or Plumbing Experts Incorporated, right? It's like, I don't know why that is. I don't know if plastering on LTD or Inc. at the end of your business brand, will give you better business or increase your profits. But yeah, you're gonna see a lot of those in in Surrey, definitely a lot. Okay, the next thing is that you notice that there's gonna be a lot of plain lands in Surrey. Like you're gonna come across a residential neighborhood where there's a house, a house, a house, and then next to it is like a plain field with nothing. It's just grass, and I don't know. It's I guess that land is still for sale, and so that gives you an idea of how Surrey still has a lot of room to grow. Um, in Vancouver, it's different. Like you wouldn't see that often. You might see a little bit here and there. Okay, and the last thing is this is very subjective in my opinion. I feel like Surrey is like the cheapest place to live in Metro Vancouver, and so you're gonna have a lot of people um, who are not that great. We all like to congregate here, us low income people. Maybe this is wrong. Maybe I'm gonna leave this one out. But yeah, I feel like I've forgotten or I've missed something. But for now, um, I feel pretty good about the things that I've talked about. Um, if there's anything more, I'll just write it down in the description or something. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys.